Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm here today sharing my financial goals for 2023. So I did recently upload a debt confession video, so if you haven't seen that, it is on my channel if you're interested, which means a lot of my goals are related to debt payoff. However, I do have a few other areas that I'm hoping to work towards in my finances this year as well. Bit of a summary of that debt is that I am $68,000 in debt, so that is definitely the main priority. I have just created a little spreadsheet here on Excel that has like a spot for me to be able to list my goals and then do check-ins every quarter, so at 3, 6, 9 and 12 months. For me, I just thought maybe the monthly check-ins might be a bit too much, might be a bit discouraging if I'm not making as much progress as I would like monthly. Whereas if I'm doing it every 3 months, I should be able to see a good chunk of progress each time. So I've spent a bit of time making up these Excel sheets, making them look nice so that hopefully it's motivating for me throughout this entire year, and done lots of auto calculations so things should calculate nicely, hopefully. So the first area that I want to work towards is making some additional extra income this year. I do work a full-time job that's very stable, that has very set income. I get the same pay every fortnight, and I do earn a good income. I earn just over $100,000 a year before tax. However, with the job I am in, it doesn't really have any options for overtime, or any ways to earn additional income. So if you do want to earn any of that, that's something you would have to do on the side through a different company, through something working for yourself. Something that's not related to the company I work my full-time job for. So it's something I've never done in the past. I've never tried to earn additional income. I've just kind of been complacent with the income I get from my regular job. However, this year I would like to earn some. I'm hoping to earn some additional income through my side weekend business that I'm starting up with a friend. I'm hoping that is profitable by the end of the year and we'll be able to take home a wage. That's kind of the hope. I also have started doing like some surveys online, which earn very, very small amounts of money, obviously, but I think anything helps at this point. There's also a driving app I use. I think it is called the K-Safe app. I might even just pop that link in the description in case anyone's interested. But basically the way that works, and I have been using that one for a while, is that every time you go to get in your car and drive, you click start on the app and it kind of rates your driving. So it like monitors your speed. If you touch your phone throughout the drive, if you're driving for more than 2 hours without stopping for a break. And at the end, it kind of gives you a score and points. And when you've earned so many points, you can trade them for gift cards. And doing that, over the last 4.5 months, I have earned $100 back. So yeah, I think it's definitely paid better than the surveys that I do. So that does work for me. And you can get gift cards, like you can get a general gift card that works at many stores. You can get ones for general food stores. Like I got mine for Woolworths because that's what I do my grocery shopping. So that's something that I have been liking and I will continue to do. I will say that their grading of your driving is not always accurate. Like sometimes it says you're speeding when you haven't been. But it's free money basically. So I will do that and I will link that down below in case you're interested. But all those kind of little extra income sources. I will also be looking for other ways to earn. I am hoping to resell some things this year. But yeah, any extra income I can get is great. But I am kind of giving myself a goal of at least $6,000 in extra income. So that's what I am working towards. Hopefully it's even more than that. The next section I'm focused on is the debt. As I talked about, that's my big priority for this year. So the first debt I had is my business debt, and that one I want to pay completely off. So the current balance on that is $4,533.97. So I want that gone in the first half of this year. So that is my first goal. Next, I have my credit cards. So this first credit card, I'm just wanting to pay the minimums on. So if I pay the minimum every month this year, that would be a total of $1,200. My second credit card, I'm also just aiming to pay the minimum on this year. So if I pay the minimums, that one would be $1,380. However, my third credit card is what I'm really tackling. So when I did my debt confession, I kind of went over that I'm going to be using the debt avalanche method. So my third credit card has the highest interest rate at 22.99%. So that's the one I want to tackle first. That one, so I've written here the total balance because I'm hoping to get it paid off. So the balance on that currently is $8,736.79. However, I know I will need to pay more than that to actually pay it off because obviously interest will be accruing as I'm paying it off. So but it was there's no way to work out how much I would need to pay it off. But my goal is to pay this off. I want it gone by the end of this year, so the next year I can tackle those other 2 credit cards. So yes, that is the goal. My next debts that I have here are my personal loan, and for that one, once again, I'm just trying to pay the minimum. The minimum on that is very big, so it's like over $5,000, so $5,561.40. So that would be all the minimum payments for the entire year. And lastly is my family loan. Now this one doesn't actually have a minimum at the moment at all. However, it will start having payments from, so it doesn't actually know when the payments are going to start. The earliest would be July and the latest would be September. So what I've done is I've calculated what the payments would be if they were to start in July. So if they start in July, I think they're going to be about $100 a paycheck, so like $200 and something a month. That would mean to pay around $1,300 to pay the minimums. So that is what I have put there as the goal. If this family loan starts later in the year, like more August or September, I probably won't start those payments. Well, I definitely won't start those payments until I have to. So that means then hopefully I'll be able to free up some extra money to go maybe to one of these other credit cards, like credit card 1 or 2. But however it works out, I do want to put a good chunk of money towards debt. So if we calculate all of those amounts up, what I'm hoping to put towards debt is $22,712.16, which is so much money. That is money, I think it's a realistic but also a stretch. I think it's right in a good place where I have to work to meet this goal. I will have to save and earn extra money to be able to meet it. However, it's not completely unrealistic either. So that's what I'm aiming for in terms of debt. Moving down, I have some savings goals. Now, I am focusing more on debt than savings at the moment. However, I do have 2 little saving things I want to save for. The first one just being my starter emergency fund. So at the moment, I have $0 in an emergency fund. Nothing. I did at some point have an emergency fund of around $5,000. It's gone. I had some plumbing issues in my house last year and the emergency fund has evaporated because contractors are very expensive. So we need to build that back up. And I've heard a lot of things about how much you should have. I know a lot of people, say the $1,000 fund. A lot of people say having a month's worth of expenses. I'm going in the middle. So I've put my goal for my emergency fund, the starter one anyway, at $3,000. And the reason behind that is because each fortnight when I get paid, I earn around $3,000, just a bit over $3,000. So if I was to have a starter emergency fund of $3,000, that means I would be like 1 paycheck ahead of myself. So if I wasn't to get paid for some reason, I would have that money there. So that is also a priority goal for this year. My very last savings goal is not a priority. It's just something that I would like to do if there is time in the year, like if it gets towards the end of the year and I haven't met my other goals, we will try to do this, and that is saving for a new phone. So up until now, I've always been the type of person that every 2 years my phone plan expires and I always renew it and get the brand new iPhone. And I've been doing that since I was 18 and I'm now almost 30. So my phone bill is always very expensive. So for example, my most recent bill was $108 and per month, so that's expensive for one person. And that's because I'm always paying off the device with the bill. Recently, my phone plan has expired, and for the first time since I was 18, I have not renewed. So I'm currently using my phone that's a few years old right now, and I'm hoping to keep using that until it completely dies. And what I'm hoping is that it will last long enough for me to be able to save up the money to buy a phone outright. Because if I can then buy the phone outright, then my monthly phone bills will stay low and really manageable. So that is my plan. The goal for that, though, is what I'm unsure about, because I have always had a new phone. I don't need to, though. So I have put the goal as if I want a new phone, which in Australia is around $2,000 to get like the new iPhone. So that is like my hopeful goal, but not 100% necessary. So if I'm still struggling to meet my other goals, I would then definitely get a cheaper phone. So we'll see how that goes. But that means for savings this year, I'm hoping to put $5,000 towards savings. In the future, in future years, I guess, I would like to have another little section in here for investments. However, I just thought with my debt totals at the moment, I'm just not ready to be putting extra money into investments at all. Because I live in Australia, we do have superannuation, which is our form of retirement. So we do automatically get money deducted from our pay to go to retirement. We can't stop that. It just happens. Actually, the employer pays it, so it's great. But yeah, I would eventually like to be doing like some brokerage accounts and things like that. But it's just not in the cards, I think, until I get this debt paid off, or at least down a lot. So that means we're just focusing on the extra income, the debt, and the savings for this year. And then overall, so I just want to do a total to see how much money I want to put towards my financial goals. And that works out to be $27,712.16. So that's how much money I'm hoping to put towards goals. And looking at this, it kind of, it sounds like a big amount. It's a really big amount, but it just makes me sad that if I'm able to achieve that, $22,000 of that has gone towards debt. Which is really upsetting, but then it does make me a bit hopeful that if I can put $27,000 towards goals, once that debt is paid off, that $27,000 a year is then something that could go towards things I actually want. Like I could be saving for a house or a car, and that's a big chunk of money I could be using each year for those things that are much more exciting than debt. So that is kind of what I'm hoping to achieve this year, what I'm working towards. I will be tracking these goals every 3 months, like I said. We also have a little graph over here that will show how we're progressing towards them. So at the moment, 0% is completed and 100% is not, because we haven't started yet. So they're my financial goals for this year. You can let me know your financial goals down below. If you have any comments on mine, please feel free. Otherwise, I'll see you in another video. Bye.